Whoa. Good morning, everyone. Buenos dias. We're going to get started in just a moment. So again, we want to welcome you and thank you for being here. We really appreciate your presence this morning. And I think we're going to start off with the video.
Somos una comunidad.
We are parents.
Lynwood is committed to children.
We are educators.
We are technology-driven.
Lynwood is family.
I think the community that is formed here at the district is more that of a family. It's very diverse, and people here are very invested in the students and in the community itself.
I've been in Lynwood Unified School District all my life. I went to elementary school here. I went to Will Rogers Elementary, Hostler, and Lynwood High School, both the old campus and the new campus.
In Lynwood Unified, I've been here 20 years because we are a great group of people. We are team players, and we care about each other.
What makes Lynwood special is that we have this unity I feel like no one can break. The people in Lynwood, they're really there for each other and they don't forget about their community.
The parents are involved, the staff is involved. That goes from classified staff to the plant workers to administrators. It goes all around. We notice that everyone is involved and everyone cares about the students.
The reason why I came back to Lynwood is to connect with the kids, because this is my community and I would love to see kids from this community succeed in life.
Lynwood is super special and unique for me because many of our teachers are from here. That knowing that my teachers had that connection with our community and came back made me also want to come back and just continue that tradition.
Yeah, I think it's great that we're able to work alongside our former teachers. Our former classmates are now also teachers here on our campus, and we get to give back to our community and really be a big part of our students' lives.
It's important to have our families engaged in the learning because they know their needs at home and we know the needs at school, and together we can work as a team.
The teachers, they're very willing to help because I need for them to help me if I don't understand my children's work so I can help them.
He's like, hey, my mama graduated, so next year he's gonna graduate honors. And that makes me like, wow, that's what I like, helping other little kids.
We care about the community. Our family is still in the community, and our friends' kids are still here, their cousins, aunts, uncles, nephews, nieces. And it's funny when we talk to our students and they say, hey, I recognize that last name. Are you related by any chance to this person? And they're like, oh, that's my uncle, that's my mom, that's my dad. And so it's kind of nice to have that connection with our students.
Good morning, everyone. Hope you're all having a wonderful morning. I'm Genevieve Molina.
And I'm Gabriel Quesada.
And I would like to ask you to please join us in standing to salute the flag.
Place your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You all may be seated.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Unified State of District. My name is Gabriel Quesada, and I'm from Hostler Middle, and on behalf of our district, I want to sincerely thank you for being here today. The partnerships we share with you and shared visions of providing young people with quality education are the foundation of our success at Lynwood Unified. Today we will share the successes, programs, and our vision for raising the bar of achievement in our district. We hope that you feel a sense of pride in your role and these accomplishments. Also be inspired to continue partnering with us to improve the community around us. Without further ado, we'd like to introduce Dr. Crosthwaithe.
Thank you. Good morning once again. It's really an honor and a privilege to have each of you join us this morning for our state of the district, and we really thank you for your time. Before I begin, let me start off with some introductions from our Board of Education, our President, Mr. Gary Hardy Jr. Also this morning we have our clerk, Ms. Briseida Gonzalez, and her daughter, Aria. As well as Mr. Alfonso Morales and Ms. Alma Delia Renteria. Joining us from the Lynwood City Council, we have Mr. Salvador Alatorre. I want to just thank again each of you for being here. We really appreciate it. We know that you're super busy and you have a lot of things to do. I want to just take a moment to also introduce you to our cabinet, and I'll begin with our Assistant Superintendent of Ed Services, Dr. Shauna Dinkins. Next, our Assistant Superintendent of Human Resources, Dr. Brian Lucas. And our Chief Business Official, Mr. Greg Fromm. So today we want to just share a little bit about what we're doing as a school district. I just finished up my 9th year in Lynwood Unified, and I am proud to say that I am the superintendent here. It's such a wonderful community, and it's really an honor and a privilege to be able to work with all of you to really continue making a positive impact for our youth, for our community, but not just for now, but for generations to come. I want to let you know at this time that there's someone in this room who's known me since I was 15. So if you want to know some more background about me, you got to figure out who that person is. So I always like to start off with this image anytime I do a presentation, because our leadership is so critical to the work that we do. We have a major responsibility of about 15,000 students, their families, but it's not just about them. It's about what happens to the generations that come after them. And so our board is instrumental in making sure that we understand what we're trying to do and why we're trying to do. And without their support, we wouldn't be able to have the successes that we have. So let's give them again another round of applause. We need more teachers, we'll train more teachers. We need more curriculum, we'll get the curriculum. It shouldn't be an obstacle for students to have those opportunities. And as a result of this, we doubled the amount of students taking AP courses and tripled the amount of students taking AP exams. And that's, ladies and gentlemen, why we were recognized as a District of the Year by the College Board. So being systematic, our school board takes our strategic plan and they pull out some things that they want to make sure that we have some extra attention to. And so we have the Lynwood Promise 2024 vision. And so here you're going to see in a comprehensive manner what we do collectively to move forward. So really, one of the things that I've been mentioning is emphasizing the college and career readiness, making sure that our students have opportunities. We want to make sure that our students have the tools to be successful. We want to make sure that they have their basic necessities met. Many of our students do not have some things that we may take for granted. And so we want to make sure that if there are those needs, that we're able to help them out, because I don't know if you've ever seen a child who's hungry or an adult who's hangry, but it's not a pretty sight. And so we want to make sure that our students, we're able to address them in a holistic manner. We also want to make sure that we're doing things in a systematic manner so that we have sustainability in thinking about how do we create the next superintendents, the next cabinet level, the next set of principals. And so really being intentional about how do we recruit, retain, and promote quality people within Lynwood Unified, because we have a lot of talent here in our school district. And the other thing is making sure that we have safe learning environments. And that's really critical for our students as well as our staff, because when students and staff are concerned about something else, about their own safety, it's really difficult to focus on anything else, right? And so here's just a one-pager that captures most of those areas. And one of the things that I want to point out from here is that in Lynwood Unified, we started doing something different a few years ago. We started paying for the PSAT and SAT for all 8th graders through 12th graders. So if you're in Lynwood Unified, we had sometimes students with a 3.5 GPA. who they weren't, we would find out they weren't applying to a university. And one of those obstacles was the PSAT and the SAT. So we asked ourselves, what can we do to eliminate that barrier? And so we said, look, we're so committed to our youth that we're going to pay for every student to take the PSAT and the SAT. And one of those students who first was able to take that PSAT, I believe she was a sophomore at the time, is standing here, and I'm going to ask her to stand up, and that's Kimberly Wenceslao. Thank you, Kimberly. When Kimberly took that test, she scored in the top 5% in the nation. And she got scholarships, and every school wanted her to go. And we didn't do it because we were thinking that Kimberly's going to get these scholarships, but it just demonstrates the talent and the abilities that we have here in our own community. But again, how do we support and enhance and bring those to attention? One of the other things that I want to just highlight here is when we talk about mental health, there's a lot of talk right now about social emotional development and supporting all of our students. We have a comprehensive system that our Director of Student Services, Dr. Kevin Datson in the back, oversees, and we have 37 partnering agencies, and I will show you a slide in a second, but that's the type of work that we need and the support that we need. We can't do this work alone. We need the support of our community, we need the support of our parents, we need the support of our businesses, as well as the collaborative agencies who are all here, because together we can really make a huge impact and continue the good work that we're seeing here in Lynwood Unified. So a couple other things. In our HR department, we have our new assistant principal academy, again, looking for ways where we can find people who have the heart, who believe in kids, and then train them, build them up so that they can be successful principals in the future. We just, as well as the aspiring administrative program, and it is finding teachers and other employees who maybe they're thinking about doing something else, and it's, again, they don't have to go into administration, but developing that talent as well. We are glad to announce this year a new partnership with Elder Graduate School of Education. And through this program, we're able to identify people from the community, from Lynwood City, from Lynwood Unified, who are interested in becoming teachers and going back to school to become educators. And through this process, through a one-year program, they get to basically be in the classroom, obtain their master's degree, a teaching credential, and work hand in hand with our teachers. And that all happens in 1 year. And for us as a district, we benefit because we now have the opportunity to sort of groom our own talent who are familiar with our community and want to continue making a difference here. So that's a great partnership, and it's something that's really wonderful for our school district. At this time, I'd like to ask our board president, Mr. Gary Hardy Jr., to come up and share some words with you about what we're doing in terms of our facilities, as well as our safety and operations.
Thank you, Dr. Crosthwaithe. First of all, I want to say good morning to you all. You guys look wonderful. We made it to Friday, so kudos to you on that. I also want to take a moment to thank our students who are live streaming this event today, our staff that stayed late after our board meeting last night to set up. This is truly a family and collaborative effort, and this room would not be what it looks like today without the efforts of all of you, so thank you for doing that. So as we endeavor to reach our full potential as a district and subsequently make sure our students do the same, they have to be put into an environment where that success is possible. So safety, operations, and finances are the vehicles that allow us to do so. A couple of years ago, our district, with the direction of our board, started a Safe Schools Task Force. And the goal of that task force is really to identify areas with which that we could really create safe school zones in and out of schools. And these safe school zones are essentially a way to create a barrier around our schools to let folks know visibly, but also with enforcement, that certain types of behavior and activities are not welcome within our school boundaries. We understand the type of communities that we want our students to live with, and that extends not only from the boundaries of our school, but beyond. So we convened a task force of administrators, city leaders, sheriff's department, campus safety, to monthly talk about the challenges facing our schools with respect to safety, but also to make sure that we are working towards solutions. And out of this committee, you've seen the implementation of greater trainings and drills, including active shooter trainings at every school site, but also this partnership with the city that we're working to push forward with our safe school zones. And simply what a safe school zone is, it's an area around the school that carries a higher enforcement for certain types of crime and behavior. And what we hope from this effort is that people know when you're in or around our schools that our student safety is number one priority. And like, as was mentioned before, we understand that there's many barriers to education. And one of those barriers that we believe here in Lynwood Unified should not be food insecurity for our students. I know how I am if I don't eat or have my coffee before 10 a.m. I can't focus, I can't get through my emails. So just imagine a student trying to take a spelling test whose last meal the night before was lunchtime. We don't often know what students are encountering when they go home, but many of them are dealing with housing and food insecurity. And we have the ability to do our part to ensure that when they enter our classrooms, their only focus, their only worry is getting that A on that spelling test. So our nutrition department endeavor to make sure that we provide free lunch and breakfast for all students, regardless of their social economic status. But we know that that's a barrier that we wanted to remove for our students so that they can, again, just be kids, worry about things that kids worry about, and nothing else. In addition to that, with understanding that, again, that the only meal that some students get is at school, we are looking to pilot our supper program so that kids can have a hot meal at the end of the day, in addition to our summer food program as well. What allows us to be ambitious on our goals and our priorities is fiscal health. We have to be good stewards of our resources and our finances in order to make sure that we provide quality service and programs for our district. And in doing so, we are happy to announce again that we have a 3-year positive budget certification. And what that means in layman's terms is that we can pay the bills. That's kudos to our staff for that as well. Because essentially, all these goals and dreams are great, but they go nowhere if there's no fuel. And the fuel to do so is basically the ability to assign resources, to allocate funds in order to fund the projects that we want to see go forward. And as a district, it's important that we are doing the people's work with the people's dollars, and that's what tax dollars are, and we're happy to report that we're doing so. So you may have seen some work going on around our district with respect to our facilities improvements. As a lifelong Lynwood resident, as a student of Lynwood schools, I remember coming on the board and seeing some of the schools looking the same way they did when I was in school here. I won't tell you how long ago, but it wasn't that recent. But just look at all the work and the projects that we've completed and the investment that we made to make sure our schools are up to date, more modern, more safe, more secure for our families. Much of the work that we've done over the years has been underground, to electrical infrastructure, to water mains, but we're always happy to take that work above ground to where students and families and communities can really see the work that we're doing on behalf of our community. And with the Measure K in bonds, that is thanks to the support of our community that believed in us, that partnered with us to invest in our students, in our schools, to improve the educational quality and facilities that we're hoping to provide our students. So thanks to all of you, the Lynwood community, and all the partners that made this efforts possible. One of the latest projects that we completed was the field at Lynwood Middle School, because we understand that athletics is more than just playing on the field, but it is important life lessons that opens up pathways and broadens horizons for students. What students learn on the field of play is not just how to win and lose a game, but they learn how to persevere. They learn what resiliency is. They learn what it is to triumph. They learn what it is to lose with grace. And those are skills and tools that will help them throughout their lives. So again, thank you to the Lynwood community for partnering with us to pass Measure K and N to allow us to do these efforts. And one such effort is the Pathway Independent Studies Campus. For years, Pathways was kind of confined to a single bungalow. And we were happy to provide Pathway students with an adequate school space that includes a place for them to eat lunch, better facilities for classrooms and bathrooms, and a place for them to play as well. And this was an effort that was years in the making, but we're happy to finally make sure that they are represented with a great school campus, even to the point where they presented our board meetings on board meeting nights, because we want to make sure that they're involved as well. And the work that's being done there is so vitally important as well. Again, I mentioned the Lynwood Middle School athletic field and track. If you recall, years ago, this was the old high school for all the older Lynwood alumni. This is where you had your games and events. It looks different today. No more clay or dirt field. No more gophers. No more holes in the field. The Gophers were probably the biggest opponent when you're playing football there. But we're so happy to see where the field is now. And that isn't the end. That's not what it's going to look like in the end. We're going to make sure we provide more and more upgrades to that area as well. I'm especially happy to see this one. As a Lynwood alumni that played basketball, those rickety wooden bleachers at Lynwood High School were challenging when you made to run up and down them. You knew they weren't stable. You just prayed to God you made it through your drill and got down safely. But as you can see, we have these beautiful new bleachers that feature our Lynwood High School logo that, again, just adds to the overall safety and security of our school, but also instills some school pride for our Knights as well. One of the biggest complaints that, as a board, as a district, that we've gotten over the last few years, living in sunny California with seemingly a never-ending summer, was our HVAC system. It was a huge undertaking that took years to plan and execute. We're happy to announce that we finally got it done, that classrooms are able to be climate controlled by a new system with HVAC at Lynwood High School. So we're happy to finally turn the key on that project, because it was a long time coming. But again, it's something that may seem minor, but it adds to a conducive learning environment for our students as well. And you see the upcoming projects that we're looking to work on, mainly the secure entrances upgrades at some of our elementary schools that again were built back in the 1930s that no longer fit the needs of today's schools, and making sure that our students are safe and our campuses are safe as students are working and learning there. So these are some of the secure entrance mock-ups. So essentially the goal is to make sure that our campuses are safe where somebody just can't enter the campus unauthorized and do harm to our students. So this is what that would potentially look like. So we're excited to see these come to fruition. Playground equipment. Very important that kids are able to work off some of that stress from the classroom, to get outside and have fun and play. And the playground equipment that they have access to is important to that. I remember a lot of fun times on the playground. I wish we still had playgrounds as adults. But just knowing what play equity means, right? We often talk about what we're asking our students to do in the classroom, but play equity is important, making sure that students have the ability to learn and grow physically as well. So again, we thank you all for being here. We can't say it enough how important your partnership and belief in us as a district means to us and what it allows us to accomplish together. I want to give a huge shout out to my board colleagues as well. Oftentimes we come here on a Saturday and Sunday and lay out our priorities for hours, 8 hours at a time, to come to a consensus to make sure this ship is going in the right direction. And what you see here is the result of putting that vision together with the vision of our cabinet and our site staff, and the hard work day in and day out of our staff as well to make it come to life. It's not an easy task, let me tell you that. We don't always agree on which direction to drive, but we always agree on the result, and that is educational excellence for all students. That is stronger career pathways for our staff, and that is a brighter community for our beloved Lynwood. So again, I want to thank my board. They're here. This is an idea that we had, I don't know how many years ago, but I'm glad to see it finally came to fruition, because I don't think we do a good enough job of tooting our own horn. We're humble in the success that we've had, but it's great to pause and look back, see how far you've come, and celebrate your wins. So I want to ask you all to give my board colleagues a big round of applause. for their incredible leadership. I think I'm the shortest tenure on the board by a couple months. So they're my elder statesmen on the board, and I really appreciate their leadership. And the same for our superintendent and cabinet for the work that they do day in and day out. To our principals, to our district staff, to our campus safety, campus monitors, our nutrition workers, to the gardeners, to the campus aides, to the parents, to the crossing guards, to the guy that changes the light bulbs. You all add to the success of our students. You all add to the environment that we're trying to build for our kids. And we can't do this without you. So again, thank you. Enjoy the rest of the morning. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Mr. Hardy. And again, through the collaboration, here's a couple images from a recent event that happened in collaboration with the city of Lynwood, as well as the Reformed Church of LA with Pastor Rudy Rubio. And community members came together and cleaned up the school. And this is now the third school that we've worked in collaboration to do this. And it ended up with a very nice mural at Washington Elementary. The next school that we'll be doing this is at Will Rogers Elementary. Here's what I mentioned earlier about the importance of these partnerships. So here's just a list of some of the partnerships that come together to support Lynwood Unified, to support our students, our families, and our staff. And again, we cannot do this work alone. We need your support, and we are thankful and appreciative for you for supporting all of us as well. Our district is strongly emphasizing STEAM, ensuring that our students have opportunities to get some hands-on experiences, to develop internships, to explore engineering and mathematics, to be able to be on stage, to be able to write their own theater. I was able to see a theater last night at Fireball High School right before the board meeting, and it's just incredible to see our students and all that they're capable of doing, and to see the confidence, and to see our parents who can't believe that their son or daughter is on stage performing like that. And so we have ballet starting at kindergarten, we have arts at the elementary, we have theater for our upper elementary, we have band in every one of our programs, every one of our secondary schools. And again, this is not by accident, it's intentional. We want to make sure that our students here, like anywhere else, have these opportunities because we know how important they are for their self-esteem, their socio-emotional development, their self-confidence, but also it's connected to the brain and research and academic outcomes. We have our partner here from Cerritos College. Thank you for being here. One of the things that we are really pushing for is for our students to get college credit while they're in high school. We believe in Lynwood that starting in 7th grade, our students can start taking college courses so that by the time they leave Lynwood Unified, they're able to get an AA degree, save some money on going to college, but also get some hands-on experiences and then reassure them, yes, you can do it. And yes, that we believe in you. And why can't it be done? And so thank you, Cerritos. We appreciate your support. And we actually have had some students who have been able to graduate with an AA degree through that partnership before they even graduate with the high school diploma from Lynwood Unified. And these students are going on to universities like Rice, like Yale. They're going on to really nice places. But more importantly, it just is another reminder that here in Lynwood Unified, we're truly serious about providing you with quality education and ensuring that you have opportunities beyond high school. So look, Lynwood Unified has had some challenges. It hasn't been easy. This is hard work. And it can't happen with the superintendent, it can't happen with the school board, it can't happen with the principals. It has to be everyone coming together and making decisions that are best for kids. Look where we were for our graduation rates just about 5 years ago in terms of the high schools. But look at our cohort rates going back to 2011 and 12. That means if you started off as a 9th grader, you had a 71% chance of graduating from Lynwood Unified. Look where we're at unofficially right now for 18-19. And remember what I told you about my story? My graduation rate was 50%. And so we're saying that's unacceptable. So we've made some progress, but we still have a lot of work ahead of us. But I want to congratulate each and every one of you because you have been instrumental in making this happen. So let's give it a big round of applause for you. We had students, we'd like to make sure that our students have some hands-on experiences. So I'll tell you a little bit about this story right here. These are some students in our biomedical program. And last year, which is this year, last school year, this year in 2019, they went to a regional competition. They got second place. And in order to go on to the state, you got to place in first or second. They ended up going to the state competition, and they got first place. All juniors, right? Our engineering robotics team, they got second place in the state level, but they didn't qualify for the nationals. So these young ladies here, 3 of them, they were juniors at the time. They all went over to, was it Kentucky? They were in Kentucky in the summer, and they came back, believe it or not, first time with first place, national champions, and they were here last night being recognized by our school board. So those are the type of students that we have in our community, and those are the type of experiences that we want to make sure that we're able to offer more and more of our students. And if you go to any of the surrounding districts, none of them have national champions, ladies and gentlemen. We have been really aggressive, and our board has tasked us with making sure that we do everything possible to bring in additional resources to Lynwood Unified. Here's just a sample of the recent grants or awards that we have received. And again, it's just incredible to see when good things are happening, everybody wants to be part of the winning team. And as you can see here, we're so indebted to all of these organizations for their support. And I want to just acknowledge Dr. Teresa Price, if you would please stand. Dr. Teresa Price, that last bullet there, is the $6.2 million in scholarships. That's incredible. One of the things that she does is she brings the historical Black colleges and universities to Lynwood. And they're on our sites, and our students have the opportunity to directly interface with them, and that's how we're able to get more opportunities for our students. 6 of our schools were recognized at the state level for PBIS. We, again, shared with you that we're one of 14 districts invited to the League of Innovative Schools. We just recently got a grant, and we're working with the county to expand these opportunities because we believe that without preschool options, it really makes it more difficult for our families to be able to go back to school, to be able to have jobs, and continue making a difference in our community. We have a new clinic that's opening up at Lynwood High School this year. We were recognized, we now have 6 California School Board Association Golden Bell Awards. That's basically the highest that a district can get from the State School Boards Association, so congratulations to that. And Washington Elementary was named as one of our top performing schools in the state of California this year. But you've heard enough about me. I believe we have a couple students who are going to share some information with you. So I'd like to invite Zion Ford and Sophia Medina. Please give them a warm welcome.
So I guess I'll go first since they introduced me first. Good morning, everybody. My name is Zion Ford. I attend Firebaugh High School. I've been in the Lynwood Unified School District since elementary. I attended Lindbergh, then went to Lynwood Middle, and now I'm at Firebaugh. It's been great being in here. I established many great relationships with Miss Alma. Where's Mr. G? I don't know, he was in here, right there. There he goes, Mr. G. Mr. Ramirez, just a few names to mention. He actually allowed me to transfer into Lindbergh. Now I'm here, which was great. But it allowed me to take AP courses. That's been good. Strengthen my knowledge and all that. As well as go to the East Coast trip. It was nice. As you guys seen a few slides of me and Sophia. Little pouring rain in Philly, but we made it. But other than that, I plan to go to university. I want to major in business management and also go for music, as they mentioned. Like they said, it is good for stress and all of that. And I plan to spread my message and my word through my music. So thank you.
I'm loud. Sorry. Good morning, everyone. My name is Sophia Medina, and I'm currently a senior at Lynwood High School. Before entering high school, I feared that I wasn't going to be able to fit in or that I was going to fall behind with all the work. But luckily, those were just simple-minded fears. My mentality has much changed since then, and rather than being discouraged by these fears, This has helped me to persevere. I'm one of the top 10 students in my class, and because of this, I was graced with the opportunity to apply for the East Coast College Tour trip. And one of the few selected, I was exposed to the environment and campuses of some of the best Ivy League schools. A 5-day trip, we spent our first days roaming around the streets of New York, visiting Columbia and NYU. New York is very different from California. The busy streets never seem to cease, and everyone seemed to be late rushing to their destinations, not even allowing traffic lights to get in their way. That was scary. Although the campuses were located at such close proximity, Columbia and NYU was so different. It was the first time I had been in a Ivy League school and not know I was there until told so. I just saw a lot of buildings with NYU flags on it, and I thought, oh, they have an Ivy League school here, so they're representing or something. But that's not the case. After that, we went to Philadelphia, and the aura was just much more relaxing. UPenn was such a free-spirited school, and it was nice to take a little break, and I learned something very valuable. When it says it's gonna rain in Philadelphia, it rains. Like, it's not California rain, it's like, ugh.
It's not always sunny.
It's not sunny, not always. Besides NYU, Columbia, and UPenn, we also went to Georgetown and Johns Hopkins. In our last few days, we actually got to visit the U.S. Capitol, which I didn't think I'd ever be as close to a few steps away from the White House. It was really, really cool. I was given an experience that I truly didn't think would be possible, and everybody here who contributed to that, I'd like to thank, because it was really such an amazing opportunity for us to have, as it was our first year doing this. This trip exposed me to the thought of not only applying to schools here at California or bordering states. Like, it opened my eyes to know that there's other schools out there, not just here, but I could go to New York, Philadelphia, Delaware, like all these different states that I really didn't think I could do. I aspire to be a mechanical engineer, and as of now, the sky's the limit. Thank you.
Thank you, Zion and Sophia. Really appreciate it. Next, I'd like to invite our Lynwood Partners Education Foundation President, Mr. Darrell Stewart, to come up and say a few words.
Morning, everyone. Thank you for being here. It is really an honor for me to be here to represent the Lynwood Partners Education Foundation. I was first introduced to Lynwood probably in 2014 timeframe, and just was amazed at the gem that I found here in this district. My day job, I work for Intel, and we sell a lot of technology to school districts all across the country. And I found that here in Lynwood, there was an amazing opportunity for Intel to lean in and to support an amazing school district. So we started in 2015, the foundation, and our mission, really, quite frankly, is to help raise additional funds and resources for pre-K to K-12, to 12, here in Lynwood, to help with enrichment programs and other educational resources. And you saw Dr. Crosthwaithe show all of the slides of the dollars that they need just for physical construction and maintenance and remodeling and all that stuff. But what you don't realize also is there's a lot of other things that need dollars to support our students. And we were fortunate this morning to see a couple of students who took advantage of some of the resources we were able to provide. Zion and Sophia are amazing representatives of that class that went on the East Coast tour this year. And it was really exciting for me to see them really lean in and embrace that opportunity. My wife and I have 3 sons, and one of the things we wanted to make sure that they did is that they went out and saw the world, and that's how you create a diverse world where you interact with other folks and see how they live and act. And for our students here in Lynwood to go to places like New York and Philadelphia and Delaware and all those places to actually see how folks live on the East Coast, to see the weather, Sophia, how different it is from Southern California. I think that's important because that opens up opportunities for our children. So I want to thank you guys again for being great ambassadors for Lynwood when you guys went on your trips. I also want to share with you that there's other things that we do here at Lynwood that we need dollars and resources to support, whether it's mini grants for teachers, where teachers need to have things like crayons for kindergarten kids, where kids that need gym shorts or t-shirts, because they just don't have them, they don't have the ability to purchase them, to be able to provide those kinds of things to those students is important. In addition to the East Coast tour, we've had students go to places like China and Australia and Japan to experience, again, the wide world. And then, of course, we have folks like Kimberly, who is at Yale, who took advantage of some of the programs we offer and is, again, a great ambassador for all of the wonderful things that happen here in Lynwood. Again, like I said, we started in 2015. Our focus is to raise dollars, and we've had a couple of fits and starts, but I want to tell everyone today, I want to share some really great news. We have just hired a new executive director, Elsa Chagoya, who is with us today. Just a little bit about Elsa. She is a Berkeley grad. For undergrad, she went to U.S.D. to get her master's. She's worked at places like the U.S. Department of Ed. She's worked at places like LA Promise. And most recently, she was the executive director of the Glendale Education Foundation. So she brings a wealth of knowledge and expertise here, and she's going to do wonders to help drive some of the programs and things that we want to do here in Lynwood. And then I want to announce a couple of new things. Dr. Crosthwaithe showed up the Kaiser Permanente grant that we got. We are doing some great work with Keck as well to get some dollars in. And then we have some local organizations here. I don't know if they're here today. Folks from Lynwood Rotary. You want to say on the Rotary? Thank you again, the Rotary, for your wonders, your fabulous generosity. Just take it with you in cash. I also want to welcome up La Maka Okana. She had to leave? Okay. Well, I just want to tell you, none of this works without the community that's here in Lynwood. If you think about the teachers, the staff, the board, the foundation, but, parents, the businesses in the community, that's what makes what's happening here in Lynwood so fantastic. And I just want to let you guys know that you guys have done a fantastic job, and thank you for being a partner of Lynwood.
Thank you, Mr. Stewart, and thank you to the Lynwood Rotary for that generous donation. I know they were being a little shy, but it's one of their first fundraisers that they've taken on this year, and they basically brought in about $2,500, and they wanted to make sure that those funds were made available to support Lynwood students through scholarships. So thank you again, we really appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our presentation. And again, I want to just say thank you very much to each and every single one of you who are here with us this morning. We know that you are very busy. We appreciate your support. And again, none of this would be possible without this partnership that we have. So we're very fortunate to be in partnership with you. And I want to just end it with the We Are Lynwood chant. It's not a chant, it's just, but that's our hashtag this year. Maybe it should be a chant. Maybe Saeed can help us develop a chant with that. But so I'm going to say we are, and you will say Lynwood. All right, ready? We'll do it a couple times. We are Lynwood. We are Lynwood. We are Lynwood. Thank you very much, everyone. Appreciate it. Have a great weekend.